Fabulous. So here we are for the Wednesday workshop. We're in that time of year where it's dark outside and the lighting in here makes my face look well rosier than it really is. And but it's good. I spent the afternoon looking at I meditate and what we're going to do with it and how it's going to evolve and all that stuff. Um, it's been quite an interesting process actually. So that's in the pipeline. That is in process. Um, so today I'm going journeying. Well, by that I'm going to be sharing with you one of the ways that we can create journeys, both for ourselves, because yes, uh, both for ourselves. Um, so you could record it, um, but these are different to like if you're doing a meditation, a guided meditation. Quite often, guided meditations will use made up fantasy places, the same as the approach that we're going to use can do. Um, However, I've done retreats where we did one up near Dinas Emrys, which is the mythical. Well, no, the hill exists up in Snowdonia. We're not allowed to call it that anymore. Can't remember what I meant to call it. The there is where Merlin, in the stories of Merlin and Arthur, was said to have seen the red and the white dragon fighting, and Vortigern was trying to build his tower. Having been up there already during the weekend before our final part of the retreat, which was going for a walk up there, I actually used the journey up there as a guided meditation so when people went there, they already had this kind of notion of I've been here, I've trod here. This is a place I've visited somewhere within myself before, which is a real interesting experience for people. And if you ever go there, you might even find that yourself because there has been a number of occasions over the last 5 years where I've used that roughly that journey up to that place as part of a guided meditation. So we can use real places, we can use made up places. Um, but in a guided meditation, it's very structured in as much as quite often they'll tell you what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, what you're going to do. You go here, you go there, you collect this, you see this person, that person gives you a strict message about such and such. Um, and it's okay that, I've been doing guided meditations or path workings, depending how you're coming at them, how people describe them, since I was 13, 14, easily. Um, and they're good, they're nice, they can take you in. It can be, if you're a little like me and you're not always the most visual, and by not always, I mean predominantly not visual when I'm doing things like that, until you get to that point where you realize that you're just being asked to think about it, um, they can be a little bit off-putting. But what we're going to do is we're going to be combining one of the techniques that we've learned through this last year. One of the things we've looked at, I think we've looked at, pretty sure we did. Um, in and bringing this into our guided meditations to give our guided meditations a more of a hypnotic element and to really stack the session, the meditation in the favor of affecting change or a shift for people or a realization for people. And this is something year, was it last year? We've done so much in 5 years. Uh, in one of the years, possibly last year, possibly the year before, I took the group through this process, which is why I thought today we would look at it and I would teach it from my side. If you've got a pen and paper, great. If not, don't worry. There's not a huge. We're going to simplify it a little bit for tonight's purpose. Just maybe make it a bit shorter than we would do. Once we get into this, you'll go, oh yeah, I remember Rob taking us through things like this. So if I grab this, the good old post-it notes. The beauty of this format is you can create up to an hour's worth of guided inner journeying on one of these, which is a claim I've only just made because I just looked down and saw it there, but it's true. So let me show you how you do this. We want a starting point, an end point, and a couple of three stations in between. Now, when I first started doing these, and always with guided meditations, and I'm going to share my thoughts on why I do it differently. Usually on a guided meditation, what you'll do is you head out on the journey and you go through the mythical landscape, for instance, and then you return back via the path you've taken to the very same place you started. But there was something in me that started questioning this, something in me that was like, if you're using this approach with some extra bits like we're going to be looking at to help people solve problems, make some changes, feel more positive, change how, change their state of mind, how they're feeling about themselves. Symbolically, if you'd been out on a journey and you found yourself at the end of it thinking you'd transformed and changed and gone through all these experiences, would you necessarily be very happy if you ended up back at the blooming start again? I just don't think you would. Psychologically and metaphorically, if you're going on a journey and making a change, if the final point of the journey that you come out of that meditation or that trance from is the same, you're saying you've done all this, but nothing's changed. If it's different, you're saying you've been on a journey and you're no longer where you were, which is a real subtle, when we talk about hypnosis, that's a real subtle hypnotic suggestion. You know, you're not where you started. You've gone on this journey. You're now somewhere else. And if we tie that somewhere else into the ideas of having made changes, accessed resources, realizations, then that really does suggest, without having to say it, that this process is transformative. So we need a start point and an end point. We need some way of getting between those points. So at the moment, I've got start and end on my little post-it note. Don't know if it'll come up. Start's a bit blurred, but start and end and three little points. So where can you start? You can start anywhere. It could start at the beginning of a road. Quite often, I think I've done quite a few where you start in a cottage, you're in a little house somewhere, you're in a hut, you're in a roundhouse, you can be in a church, you can be in Tesco's. It depends how earthy you want to be. You can be like the calendar here for October. You've got to remember to change it over in a few days, but it's got a beautiful path with some green trees still this side, and there's some autumn leaves on this side, and the path looks golden, and there's a river. That's a wonderful starting place for a journey. So I could look around this room, and from this room alone, even from my calendar, create a journey. So, okay, if I want the three places in the, maybe I want some paths or some places. Okay, so that's by a river. That then obviously is a footpath that's gone off into a woodland. Um, and winter is December is it's a woodlands again. I have a feeling this is a woodlands calendar, which is why I keep having woodlands. Um, but this is a woodlands that's going uphill. So I've got three different terrains. The amount of things you can draw on, like sitting here in this room, I could take someone on a journey where they start sat at a desk in a room and they just walk around the room. We quite often think these things have to be kind of packed with, symbolism and spiritual insight and stuff. But it could be really, you could send somebody on a journey, a hypnotic journey through their local supermarket. And if you do it right, you can still affect change. And in fact, I'm going to put that down there because if I do a demo of this briefly at the end, I might even use a supermarket as the framework that I hang it on. In fact, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it now, and then we'll go into it. So you, in the meantime, just be thinking about, um, and this will be quite a shortened version to what I'd normally do because obviously we're on a time thing. But just think in a moment, I'll give you some space to think about your start point and where you're going to head to. In fact, actually, no, I'm going to do the supermarket bit at the end. So I want you to think about where's your start point and where's the first station, we'll call it, that they're going to stop at. So it might be that they're in their house and they go out. But what you need to do is for every part of the journey, this is where we get hypnotic. The fact that you're getting people to follow a journey with their eyes closed, that's trance inducing. We've all done lots of that in here. Um, that's meditational, that's trance inducing. The difference between this being a hypnotic journey and a meditation journey is you're bringing in choice, but then we drop in the wonderful double or triple bind. If you remember what those are, double bind, triple bind is where somebody has choices, and even though they sound like different choices, they all actually lead to the same outcome. It's a little conversational trap that you lay with good intention. So, for instance, if somebody's starting off in their house, you start off in your house, you step out the door up to the pavement, and I wonder, and this is where you'll recognize where we've used this before, I wonder, are you going to turn left to feel really good today on this journey, or are you going to turn right to feel really good today on this journey? Whichever way you choose to feel good, take that direction now. So I've given two choices. You can go left, you can go right to feel good, but whichever way you go, you are going to feel good. There's the presupposition. So whichever way you choose to go today to feel good, take that path now. And then from that front door, they're out the pavement, they walk along that, stroll along the footpath, see the things you see, hear the things you hear, just get a feel for that as you continue along it. So rather than as you would do in a guided meditation where you'd be like, and you're walking along a footpath and you see the lamppost and there's a person walking a dog and there's the postman and oh, the milkman's running late and oh, look at the window cleaner. Surely he's not meant to be up in the room with Mrs. Higgins. You know, rather than filling all that stuff in, you give it as much over to the person's own mind because everybody knows what it's like to walk down a pavement or a path. So you're walking down that pavement, see the things you see, hear the things you hear. Make it now. And then up ahead, they get another choice. So up ahead, it's a pathway through a forest, a forest. So that's your second destination. As you approach it, there's three paths. I don't know what they look like to you. I don't know what they look like to you. In saying I don't know what they look like to you, you're implying that they look like something. You're implying you are doing this. And again, you're giving choices. So at this point, you give them either two or three choices again. I will go with that just feel good idea. So it would be So I don't know if you're going to go through on the left-hand path through the forest to feel good today, whether you'll choose the middle path through the forest to feel good today, whether you'll take the right-hand path to go through the forest and feel good today. But however you choose to feel good today, make that choice now. What am I really saying there? I'm not saying follow a path in your mind. I'm saying make that choice to feel good now and take that path. So do it. Give yourself permission to do it. Go. So they head off. You never know whether they went left, right, straight on. It does not matter. As the person delivering this, it really doesn't matter. So we're going to do a breakout room, two breakout rooms because it works out nicely. And all I want you to do, and you don't have to use the same one every time when we're doing the breakout rooms in this today. All I want you to do is with the other person, go through the general motion of this. So you're going to say, ask them to sit comfortably, close your eyes. Imagine you're wherever your starting point is. It could be the petrol station. But anyway, you're at such and such. You see a couple of paths. I'd start off with a couple of paths because that just gets you used to the idea of it. You see a couple of paths. Do you take the left path to feel good? Do you take the right path to feel good? Whichever path you take to feel good today, take that path now. Allow some time for them to start doing that. And as you're walking along that path, see what you see, hear what you hear. Up ahead, you notice it could be a crossroads, it could be a roundabout, it could be a forest, it could be a flight of stairs going up, a flight of stairs going down. They notice something. That's the first little bit of info about what they're seeing you give them. Do you take choice one, choice two, choice three to feel good about this? So start to point one. No, you can't see that, can you? Give them a couple of choices. Basically, don't give them too much detail. Let their imagination, if the more you engage someone's imagination with this and get them thinking about it, the more powerful it'll be for them. So get them to think about which path are you going to take? Are you going to take the left path that makes you feel good or the right path that makes you feel good? Whichever path you take that makes you feel good, do that now. So take them from point one to point two with that choice. And then whatever point two is, have them arrive there. So will you take that? Will you take this? Get to that point. Okay. And we'll do breakouts, just like 5 minutes each way. If I'll jump in and see how you're doing. Um, have fun with it. I mean, this is all about again carrying on with that idea of engaging imagination, and this is a wonderful way of doing it. Um, automatically, yeah, let's do automatic. Two people in each room. See you in a bit. Oh, like I say, I'll pop in and see how you're doing now. So press record. So we've gone start point, choice, another kind of location, choice. And you basically repeat that. Doesn't always have to be a destination. It could be that they're walking along a path and they see a table with a couple of items on it. You know, it could be that they choose the salt or the pepper off a table. It could be you're walking along and the weather shifts. Does the day become sunnier and brighter for you to feel happy today, or does the weather turn more windy and kind of gusty for you to feel happy and good today? Whichever weather format, whatever type of weather is going to make you feel good today, just experience that now as you continue on along that path. So you're using again a choice, but you're layering it in with that. Let's say you can do up to three. So no need to do more than three choices. It's overcomplicating it. But two, Two choices as you're getting used to it, three choices if you're feeling bold and brave. The main thing, if you're doing three choices, is just remembering what you've actually given people the choice of, which is why jotting it down, because you can literally improvise these on in the moment, but it's probably good to have a pen and paper, just jot down what choices you gave people. Um, because it's like, you see a table before you and there's a bottle of pop, an acorn, and a donut. Did you pick the bottle of beer, the conker, or the donut? And if the person's listening, they go, hang on a minute, that's not what was on the table a minute ago. So it's good, it's good to keep tabs on what you're saying. I'm pretty sure there's been moments along the way where I've maybe I definitely have had moments where I've gone, oh no, what was that third thing? Um, and it does come. But so the journey gets a bit bigger by dropping in some more choices. You can change the kind of environment they're walking through. It could just be literally a journey through a park. So the environment never really changes other than whatever they're changing in their heads. You go over to the swings. Do you go on the slide to feel good today, or do you go on the swings to go feel good today? Whichever bit of the park you go on to feel good today, do that now. Anything and everything can be a choice, and everything can be a choice that's layered to a certain outcome. At some point on this journey, they will meet someone. Now, I know in doing these in the past, it might have been you and somebody said that they sometimes struggle with meeting a person. That sometimes when you end up in a place and go, oh, there's a person there, um, that that person, it's been an empty space. Doesn't have to be a person. We're using the imagination. It can be an animal, you know, it can be a book. You go into such and such, and there's a book, and it's open on a certain page. And I don't know what that book says to you that allows you to have a good day, but just read that now. Could be a radio in a room. You go into a room, there's a radio, you tune it to a station. I don't know what that station's playing that will allow you to feel good today. So, if someone's not so good on meeting with a person. So you take them to a space, a place, and this bit's sheltered. There aren't you take away the choice element here. Usually when you get to the space, so let's go with the that you've been walking through the park, blah blah blah, and you come to a sun house. Now this is important because you want to spike the imagination. I don't know what's in there. So you're saying what's in there, who's in there, that will allow you and give you what you need to feel good today. Whatever who or what that is, that's yours. So I'm going to allow you to go in there now by yourself. You can go in there by yourself, and I don't know what's going to happen in there. This is your time that will allow you to feel good and feel good today. So step in there for a while because this is your time. See what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel, whatever goes on for you there. And then you sit back and you give them a couple of minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, depending on how you're structuring and the session. You'll get a feeling. For some people, you can see they're just really into it. Usually the eyes are going to like rapid eye movement. In which case, whilst that's clearly processing, allow it to process. Just before you bring them out, you then follow it up with, it's almost time to leave here. So whatever insights or resources you have gained that will allow you to feel good today, just make sure you remember them now. Allow us, say, a minute for that. And then it's time to leave. You thank the person that's in there, or if they're, yeah, usually if you've directed me a person, you thank the person you've been chatting to, and you step back outside. And then you can give them a choice again. Are you going to take the left path or the right path to complete this journey and feel good today? Or three choices: left path, right path, middle path, up the hill, around the hill, cross the river, whatever choices you want to give them. Make sure it's kind of in context with the landscape you've been leading them to. Um, if you've been doing a journey through a town and a city and you go into a skyscraper, you come out, oh, and there's a mountain before you. This might be a bit of a leap. Um, but yeah, give them another choice and then lead them to a place that is different to when they started. Lead them to a place that's different to where they started. Make it a good place, a kind of sanctuary, a special place. What's his name? Can't remember the guy's name, but he would say a mystical place, a magical place where all the changes that you've made today can work powerfully for you. Um, Carl, can't think of his surname. Um, and lead them to that place. Once they're in that place, then we start bringing them back out. So in a moment, you can start to return, bringing back everything you've gained that will allow you to feel good today. And this is the added bit. Even if you are not consciously aware of that yet, even if you're not consciously aware of that yet, I love that phrase. Because one of the things that can undo hypnosis and this kind of work is if someone goes through it and goes, well, I don't think I got anything. I don't think I got anything. In which case they can unpick everything and just go, oh, it didn't do anything for me. And that's not what you want. So even if you're not, bring back everything you've gained, even if you're not consciously aware of that yet, your unconscious mind is actually the extra bit on there. Your unconscious mind is, you're basically instructing with one last instruction there for their mind to find things to feel good about today. You're saying there will be stuff there. Now it's just your responsibility during the day to find it. And all that's going to do is tune them into those couple of good things. It might just be a kind comment that somebody says, or, I did for the first time, in fact, first time in 6 years at least, baked a pie last week. Um, did all the pastry stuff myself and haven't done anything like that for ages. And and I hadn't made quite enough of the pastry, so I had to roll it really, really like wafer thin. And I was like, that's just going to fall apart. And so I cooked it. And when I took it out, it was like, "Oh, it hasn't. And it's really nice. And it's really worked." That's the kind of thing. Yes, that maybe was going to happen anyway in my day. But by saying to somebody, you know, bringing with you all those things that will allow you to have whatever the thing you're working on or whatever the solution, and even if you're not consciously aware of that solution, or if you're not consciously aware of that yet, your unconscious mind is. So your unconscious mind is now being told to notify you when you do something that makes you feel good, or when something happens to you that makes you feel good. And quite often or not, especially with feelings, if we're looking at just like a bit of a boost, feeling good, quite often it is just where we're focusing our attention that makes the difference. It's that you focus on all the crap in a day, putting it bluntly, you're going to notice more of the crap. You focus on the good things in a day, even if it is a bit of a crap day, you're going to pick up on those things. So, you're going to do breakout rooms again. Just go for a complete journey. Go start position. We'll keep it simple because you get, I think you get the sections. Start at start position, a choice that leads them to another choice. That then leads them to somewhere where there's a person, which is like the inner wisdom self type thing, that has something for them. And you're not going to tell them what that is. In fact, you say, I don't know what that is. This is your time, your space. I'll give you some time in quiet to engage with this. See what you see, hear what you hear, just get a feel for it. Leave that space, then it's almost time to move on. Just remember anything that you've gained, anything that's come to you, anything you accessed. Time to go on. One final choice that leads them to that final stopping place. Once you're at that stopping place, as you take on board everything that you've gained and access all the resources that you need to have a good day, when you start coming back and bringing with you everything you've gained, even if you're not consciously aware of that yet, your unconscious mind is. And this can carry on working for you for the rest of the day. Okay, that's the challenge. I'm going to, hang on, recreate, see what happens. Wonderful. So again, don't try and pad it out too much details. Let the mind do it. We're only doing a short journey, so about 5 minutes each way. Point one, point two, someone to chat to, choice to get them to the end. Even if you don't know consciously what you've gained from this, your unconscious mind knows how to feel good, is basically what you're saying. So I shall rest that, and I shall see you all in a moment. I'll drop in, see where everyone's at. Everyone's doing great last time, so
That's very good.
good. Well, I did say, because I use supermarket as a silly example, that I'd prove that you can do this with anything. So we're going to finish today's session. I'm going to take you through a short journey, um, and also proving that you can get it all on there. It is all on a post-it note ready. I've been doing it whilst you were in that last breakout room. Um, Here goes. So I'll invite you to sit comfortable. And with these journeys, you can do a little bit of a hypnotic induction if you wanted to. My favorite go-to, if you want just a little one, is, gets people close their eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths. And as you breathe out, just become aware of that place within you that feels most still, and allow it to spin and flow within you. That actually for this is enough. And as that continues, on blah, blah. So anyway, sitting comfortably, eyes closed. Have a stretch, have a fidget. And indeed, we'll take a couple of deep breaths together. Let's take 3 because that's what we normally do. And you may choose to relax. See, we're doing it already. You may choose to relax deeply on the first breath. You may choose to relax deeply on the second breath. You may choose the third breath to deeply relax. But whenever you choose to deeply relax, get the most out of this journey, you can just take that breath and relax. Breathing in, hold it, and breathing out. Breathing in, hold it, and breathing out. Breathing in, hold it, and breathe out. And as you sat there relaxing, listening to my voice, just become aware of that place within you that feels most still, most comfortable. And allow that feeling of comfort just to spin and flow within you as you continue to relax. Because you're going to go on a journey, and it's good to relax. The more you relax, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more you can relax. As in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine, picture yourself stood outside a supermarket. Now, I don't know what supermarket that is, whether it's one you know, whether it's just one that you've made up. But just be there now, see what you see, hear what you hear. And I want you to notice that wherever it is, that it has 2 entrances. a left entrance, and a right entrance. And I wonder, will you choose the left entrance to feel good this evening and get a great night's sleep? Or will you choose the right entrance to feel good this evening and get a great night's sleep? Whichever entrance you choose to get a good night's sleep and feel good, take that entrance now. Stepping inside that supermarket, you look around and you've got the aisles, you've got the checkouts, just a supermarket. See what you see, hear what you hear. Now, I don't know whether you'll choose the first aisle to feel good and get a good night's sleep tonight, whether you'll choose the second aisle to feel good and get a good night's sleep tonight, whether you'll choose the third aisle, the fourth aisle, or the fifth aisle to feel good and get a good sleep tonight. Whichever aisle you choose to take to feel good and get a good sleep tonight, just take that aisle now. Just start walking down that aisle. And as you know, walking along that aisle, I want you to notice that you walk past the baked beans. Now, I don't know if you're going to choose Heinz baked beans to feel good and get a good night's sleep tonight, or whether you're going to choose Branston beans to feel good and get a good sleep tonight. But whichever you choose to feel good and get a good night's sleep tonight, just place that item into your basket or trolley, whichever that is that you choose to feel good with and get a good night's sleep. Having done that, you carry on up along the aisle to the end. And I don't know if you're going to choose number 3 aisle or number 4 aisle to feel good this evening and get a good night's sleep. So whichever of those two you choose, and maybe you're already on one of them, and that's okay because you can choose the other. Whichever you're on, take that aisle that will allow you to feel good this evening and get a good night's sleep. As you're walking down it, you notice you've entered the cake aisle. And I'm wondering whether you're going to choose the Swiss roll to feel good and get a good night's sleep, or whether you're going to choose the birthday caterpillar cake to feel good and get a good night's sleep. Whichever cake you choose to feel good and get a good night's sleep, pick that up now and place that into the basket or the trolley, whichever you choose to feel good tonight and get a good night's sleep. And then heading to the end of that aisle, you look down whichever aisle's next to it, and you notice one of the store assistants. They're there just doing what they're doing. See what they're doing. Notice them doing what they're doing. This aisle is your aisle. This is for you. And I don't know what it is that that store assistant has for you, or what it is they're going to say to you that will allow you to feel good and have a good night's sleep tonight. But this is your time. So go down that aisle now and just speak. Have a conversation with that assistant. And I don't know whether they'll give you something or whether they'll say something to you that gives you what you need to have a good night's sleep and feel good this evening. But just approach them now, and I'll come back to you in a few moments. That's right. It's almost time to say goodbye to the assistant. So whatever they've given you, whatever they've said to you, just Allow yourself to hold on to that, to bring that back with you, so it can work powerfully for you. And so leaving that aisle, you come to the end of it, and looking up ahead, you see the checkouts. Now I'm wondering, will you choose the self-service checkout to check out this evening and to feel good and get a good night's sleep? Or will you go to the manned till to check out this evening to feel good and get a good night's sleep? Whichever you choose to feel good and get a good night's sleep, go to that till now. Do what you need to do, pass your goods through, and you pay for that, however you choose to do that now. And you notice the sign that says exit. So you leave the supermarket, stepping out onto the car park, heading towards your vehicle. As you get close to your vehicle, you can slowly begin to return, bringing back with you everything that you've gained, every insight, understanding, resource that will allow you now to feel good this evening and have a good night's sleep. And even if you're not consciously aware of what that is yet, your unconscious mind knows just what it needs to know to allow you to feel good for the rest of the evening and to get a good night's sleep. So, when you are ready to feel good for the rest of the evening and get that good night's sleep, you can open your eyes, be here now, have a stretch, feel good.